Okay, so you've decided to go self-employed. Congratulations, it's a big decision. So, what do you need to do about it legally in setting up your business the right way to go about it professionally? So, to ensure your business gets off to a great start, there are 3 things that you now need to sort out. You need to sort out opening up a bank account. You need to inform HM Revenue and Customs, and you need to appoint an accountant. So, opening up a bank account. It is not essential to have a special business bank account. However, I would recommend it because it's much easier when you have your business things separate to all your private stuff that's going through your account. So that is what I would actually recommend to you, to keep everything separate. Now, you might already have a good relationship with a bank manager, and so you might already know which bank that you would like to go and use. If not, my recommendation would be to go and see a couple of bank managers and choose the bank where you feel that you're going to have the best relationship with that manager. You're going to be with that bank for many years, and it's a good idea to have a good relationship going on with the manager. You might also want to look at it from the perspective of whether or not any of the banks are offering any free banking deals. Some of them offer banking deals free for a year, some of them might offer them for life. You know, but sometimes you might be better off looking at the relationship than looking at the free banking. You know, it all depends. You've got to feel comfortable with who you're going to use. And very often as well, once you've appointed your accountant might be able to recommend a very good local business bank manager for you. So that might be another avenue that you want to go down. So that's the first, well, one of the, all these things really should be done in conjunction, I suppose. Okay, so a second thing is, you know, do you really need an accountant? Well, obviously I would say you do need an accountant, but you need the right accountant to complete your accounts, to make sure that you can take advantage of all the bona fide expenses that you can claim against your income. You want to make sure that we're putting in the right claims, that we're putting in all of the claims, and that it is being done properly and professionally. A good accountant will not only complete your accounts for you, but also complete your self-assessment tax return, making sure that it goes in on time, and tell you what tax you've got to pay and when you've got to pay it. So, you know, that's a really good thing that your accountant does for you, is to tell you what tax it is and when you've actually got to pay it. And as well as that, will help you to set up a good set of books and records right from day one in your business. A good set of books and records is something that's really going to help you as your business grows, to make sure that you're recording all your expenses properly, everything's been done correctly, you're paying the least amount of tax possible, and you're not going to get yourself into any trouble at all. So, how do you choose the accountant? Well, referral is obviously the way a lot of accountants get their business. So, you know, you might want to ask friends of yours that are in business who their accountant is, who they use. As I said with the bank, I'd recommend to actually go and see a couple of accountants and see which one you feel most comfortable with. Because again, at the end of the day, you're going to be in business for a long time, and you need a really good relationship with that accountant over that period of time. You've got to make sure that you feel comfortable that they're acting in your best interests, and that you feel comfortable ringing them up with any queries, and that they'll help you along the way. And that's what you want an accountant for, to help you. For your own protection, I would say that you should really use a chartered accountant. The reason for that is that as chartered accountants, you have to keep up a certain amount of professional standards. You have to go on a certain amount of courses each year, and the professional body checks you out and makes sure that you are doing everything okay as a business. We have monitoring checks by the professional bodies to make sure we're okay. Also, if a chartered accountant does something that you're not happy with, you've got somebody to complain to. You've got somebody to go to say, hang on a minute, that's not right. You know, please bear in mind that you could set yourself up as an accountant tomorrow. You do not have to be qualified to go out there and call yourself an accountant. That in itself causes its own problems, its own issues. You know, and I think there's a lot of people out there don't realise that that's possible. You will automatically assume that any accountant you go and see is a chartered accountant, and that isn't the case. So please actually do check. Okay, so that's about sorting out getting an accountant. Now, the revenue. You have got to inform HM Revenue and Customs within 3 months of the start of your business that you have started to trade as a self-employed person. Now, you can do this by either calling them, or you can go online. Now, online, if you go to www.hmrc.gov.uk, so I'll put that on here, so it's hmrc.gov.uk. If you go there and you go on to the register for self-employed and national insurance links and follow the links through, and you can just fill in a form to tell them that you are registering for self-employment. So whether you call them or whether you do it online, then you will need to give them the following information. So make sure you have this all ready to hand when you ring them. So you'll need your name and address, the business name, the date on which you're going to start your self-employment. There's no point ringing them up today to say that you're going to start in business in a fortnight's time, because they're not interested. They only want to know the actual start date. So you start today and you call them tomorrow. You certainly have to call them within 3 months, okay? So your start date, your date of birth, your national insurance number. Without that, you definitely can't register with them. So that's really important that you've got that to hand. And they'll also want an online email address. So once you're registered with them, you are then in the system. You probably won't hear anything for a while and you'll think, oh goodness me, you know, they might have forgotten about me. But you will be in the self-assessment system, which means that you will be required to complete an annual self-assessment return. So, or your accountant will fill that in for you, but you will have to fill in a self-assessment return every year by the 31st of January each year. Okay? So, when you are registering for self-employment, you are actually also registering to pay Class 2 National Insurance. Now, this is a weekly amount, which is currently £2.50, and it has to be paid over to the revenue if you expect your earnings to be over £5,315 per year. If you think you're going to be sort of borderline, it's probably best to go ahead and start paying it anyway, rather than forgetting about it and then in a few years' time finding out that you owe kind of 3 years' worth, because obviously that will add up. But it's only £2.50 a week is what you actually have to pay. Now, the revenue would like that by direct debit, so they will also, when you ring them, request your bank details so that they can collect it directly from you from your bank. Okay, so that's what they want to do. So that's it. Once you've sorted out your bank, your accountant, and register with the HMRC, you're absolutely ready to go. Off you go.